The credit card in my hand felt heavier than usual as I stared at the statement. Another month, another five-figure balance. This time, it wasn't even my spending. It was my brother's family vacation to Disney World, the one I supposedly gifted them because Aunt Mallory loves spoiling the kids. I'm Mallory, and I'm not actually that generous. I'm just really bad at saying no to my family. My phone buzzed. Mom's picture lit up the screen, and I knew exactly what was coming. It was that time of year again, time for another small favor. "Sweetie," her voice dripped honey, "I was just thinking about you." "Hi, Mom." I balanced the phone while sorting through bills. "Everything okay?" "More than okay. You know how your father and I have been talking about that cruise?" My stomach dropped. Here it comes. "Well, Emmett and Brianna were saying how wonderful it would be if we could all go together, as a family." She paused for effect. "The kids are at such a perfect age for it." I closed my eyes, remembering last Christmas when they borrowed money for Emmett's new car, the money they still hadn't paid back. "Mom, Oh, and we found the perfect one, the Ocean Stars Caribbean route, 14 days of pure luxury." She sighed dreamily. "Jessica at the travel agency said they're almost sold out." Of course she'd already talked to Jessica. My best friend ran the agency, and my family had somehow decided she was their personal vacation concierge. "That sounds expensive," I managed. "Well, yes, but you're doing so well at work. That promotion must have come with quite a raise." She laughed lightly. "And you don't have a family to support, so—" There it was, the single daughter guilt trip, right on schedule. "Mom, I can't just—" "Emmett's working so hard with his new business venture," she interrupted. "And you know how stressed Brianna's been with the kids. They really need this break." I glanced at my laptop, where an email from Emmett's wife sat unread. Probably another passive-aggressive hint about Rose's upcoming birthday party. "What about your savings?" I asked. "The cruise fund you mentioned last year?" "Oh, honey." Mom's voice shifted to that particular tone, the one that meant I was being difficult. "We had to help Emmett with some unexpected expenses. You understand?" I did understand. I understood perfectly. "When were you thinking of going?" I heard myself ask, hating how automatic my compliance had become. "3 months from now. I'll send you the details. We'll need 3 cabins, one for your father and me, one for Emmett's family, and—" She paused. "Well, I suppose you could come too. There might be singles activities on board." My grip tightened on the phone. "Right. So you'll take care of it? Today, preferably. The rates go up tomorrow." I stared at my reflection in the window. 34 years old, successful career, my own home, and still letting them treat me like their personal ATM. "Of course," I said quietly. "That's my girl. I knew we could count on you." She was already moving on. "Oh, and don't forget to get the drink packages. Your father loves his evening cocktails." After hanging up, I sat in silence, looking at the family photo on my desk. Last summer's beach trip, another gift from me. Everyone smiling except me. I was too busy calculating the cost of their happiness in my head. My phone buzzed again. A text from Emmett. "Mom said you're handling the cruise. You're the best, sis. Brianna wants to know if we can get the grand suite. The regular cabins look kind of basic." Something snapped. I opened my laptop and pulled up the cruise listings. The Ocean Stars Caribbean route glowed on my screen, all luxury and promise. 14 days of 5-star dining, spa treatments, and sunset views. Then I opened another tab, a different kind of voyage altogether. My fingers hovered over the keyboard as years of built-up resentment crystallized into clarity. Every birthday they'd forgotten. Every Christmas where my gifts were afterthoughts. Every time they'd called my success lucky while praising Emmett's latest failed venture. I started typing. They thought they were getting a cruise. What they were going to get was a long overdue lesson, and this time I was going to enjoy every single minute of it. I picked up my phone and dialed. Hey, Jessica, remember that revenge plan we talked about last month? I think it's time. You're actually doing it? Jessica's eyes widened as she spread cruise brochures across her desk. I thought we were just drunk planning that night. I'm done being their backup plan, I said, pulling up the ferry company's website. Show me the worst cabin you can find. Jessica grinned, clicking through options. Well, the Northern Star ferry isn't exactly luxury class. Think more industrial transport with beds. Perfect. You know they're going to lose their minds when they realize. That's the point. I leaned forward. Can you make the confirmation emails look legitimate? Please. Jessica rolled her eyes. I've been in travel long enough to fake a few headers, but are you sure about this? It's going to cost you. I pulled out my credit card. Worth every penny. As Jessica worked her magic, booking the real cruise for me and the ferry for them, my phone buzzed. A text from Brianna. Just wanted to check on that grand suite. The kids are so excited. Speaking of excited, Jessica said, remember your 10th birthday? When Emmett needed new soccer gear? My hands froze over the keyboard. I did remember. I'd saved for months to buy myself a bike. Mom had found my hidden money jar the night before my birthday. Mallory, she'd said, sitting on my bed. Your brother has an important tournament coming up. His cleats are too small. But Mom, that's my bike money. Don't be selfish, sweetheart. Emmett needs this. You want him to succeed, don't you? I never got the bike. Done, Jessica's voice snapped me back. 1 luxury suite on the Ocean Star for you, and 3 cramped cabins on the Northern Star ferry for them. She spun her monitor around. Want to see their rooms? The photos showed narrow bunks, metal walls, and a tiny porthole. The bathroom was shared with other cabins. Mom's going to have a stroke, I laughed, then caught myself. God, am I terrible for enjoying this? After 20 years of their BS? You're a saint for waiting this long. Jessica printed the documents. Now let's make these look fancy. We spent the next hour creating perfect forgeries, glossy brochures, official-looking tickets, even a fake welcome package. Everything branded with the Ocean Star logo. My phone rang. Mom again. Sweetie, did you book it? Emmett's been checking the website, and those grand suites are going fast. I smiled at Jessica, who was silently mouthing "do it" across the desk. Actually, Mom, I have amazing news. I put on my best excited voice. I got us an incredible deal. The grand suite for Emmett and Brianna, a luxury cabin for you and Dad, and I paused for effect. I even managed to get myself a room. Oh, she sounded surprised, like she'd forgotten I might want to come. Well, that's nice. But are you sure about the cost? We don't want to impose. Don't worry about the cost. For once, I meant it. Consider it my treat. Everything's taken care of. After hanging up, Jessica raised an eyebrow. You know what the best part is? The ferry leaves 6 hours before the real cruise. You'll be able to watch them board from the terminal. You're evil, I grinned. I love it. One more thing. She pulled out a folder. I booked myself a cabin next to yours on the Ocean Star. Someone needs to document this masterpiece. My phone buzzed again. A family group chat notification. Emmett. Best sister ever. Can't wait for the grand suite. Mom. Our Mallory, always taking care of everyone. Brianna. Rose is already planning her princess outfits. Dad. Good girl. We raised you right. Jessica watched me read the messages. Are you really ready to burn this bridge for good? I thought about the bike money, about every Christmas spent watching Emmett open expensive gifts while I got bath sets, about Mom's constant reminders that I was lucky to have a good job so I could help the family. I looked at my best friend and smiled. I'm bringing the gasoline. Then let's make it count. Jessica raised her coffee cup. To the worst family vacation ever. For them, I clinked my cup against hers. For me, it's going to be paradise. As we finalized the details, I felt lighter than I had in years. In 3 months, They'd learn exactly what it felt like to be disappointed by someone they counted on. And I'd learn what it felt like to finally say no. A toast. Mom raised her wine glass, beaming around the pre-cruise family dinner I'd reluctantly agreed to host. To our sweet Mallory, who knows her place in this family? My smile felt plastic as I lifted my glass. Across the table, Brianna was scrolling through her phone, probably checking cruise reviews again. You know, Emmett said, mouth full of the expensive steak I'd grilled, we should make this an annual thing. The whole family, luxury cruise, all together. I nearly choked on my wine. Annual? Why not? Mom brightened. It could be your special gift to us each year. Dad nodded sagely. You're blessed with success, sweetheart. It's important to share those blessings. I excused myself to the kitchen, gripping the counter until my knuckles went white. Through the doorway, I could hear them planning future cruises like they were already entitled to them. My phone buzzed, a text from Jessica. Found something interesting. Check your email, now. I opened the attachment while pretending to prep dessert. It was a bank statement, my parents' joint account, which Jessica had accessed through her connection at their local branch. My eyes widened as I scrolled through the transactions. The empty cruise fund wasn't empty at all. The money they claimed they'd spent on Emmett's emergencies was still there, plus more. They'd been lying. Aunt Mallory, Rose tugged at my sleeve, can we see the pictures of our suite again? I pulled up the fake brochure on my phone, watching her eyes light up at the doctored photos. Look at the big bed and the balcony. Speaking of the suite, Brianna called from the dining room, I was reading reviews, and they mentioned something about a different boarding area for premium guests. My heart skipped. She was getting too curious. Oh, yes, I said smoothly, returning with dessert. It's all arranged. You'll have a special check-in area. Very exclusive. I just couldn't find any recent photos of... More wine? I interrupted, already pouring. Dad, tell us about your retirement plans. Later, as they were leaving, Mom pulled me aside. We're so proud of how you've turned out, dear. After all those rebellious years, you finally understood what family means. I thought about the bank statement sitting in my email. I understand perfectly, Mom. And you'll make sure our cabin is near Emmett's? You know how I like to help with the kids. Everything's arranged exactly as it should be. After they left, I poured myself a real drink and called Jessica. Did you see it? She asked immediately. They have the money. They've had it all along. My voice shook. They just didn't want to spend it on themselves when they could spend mine instead. Are you okay? I laughed, but it came out hollow. You know what the worst part is? They really believe they deserve this, that I owe them. Well, they're about to learn differently. Jessica paused. Brianna's getting nosy, though. I noticed, but it's too late now. The ferry tickets are non-refundable, and I've already blocked their credit cards from booking anything else. Evil genius, Jessica chuckled. Oh, and I added a special touch. I had the ferry company put a happy birthday sign on their cabin door. But it's nobody's birthday. Exactly. Just another little thing to irritate your mother. I smiled, imagining Mom's face when she saw it. 2 more weeks. By the way, Jessica added, I did some digging on your brother's new business venture, too. Want to guess where your Christmas money really went? Do I want to know? Let's just say his startup is actually a gambling account. I closed my eyes, thinking of all the times they'd guilted me into investing in Emmett's future. Every dollar had gone straight to his betting habit. My phone buzzed with a new family chat message. Brianna. Just packed Rose's princess dresses. Can't wait for the formal dinners. Mom. Mallory, did you remember to book the spa packages I mentioned? Emmett. And the golf sessions? I typed back, everything's taken care of. It'll be unforgettable. That much, at least, wasn't a lie. I walked to my bedroom and opened my own suitcase, where a brand new evening gown hung waiting. In 2 weeks, I'd be wearing it on the real cruise ship, sipping champagne while they discovered their luxury suite on the ferry. Sweet Mallory, who knows her place in this family, I muttered, touching the silk dress. They had no idea how right they were. After years of being the family ATM, I finally knew my place, and it was far, far away from them. Departure day dawned bright and clear. I arrived at the port 3 hours early, watching from behind oversized sunglasses as my luggage was loaded onto the gleaming Ocean Star. Jessica stood beside me, documenting everything on her phone. "They're 20 minutes out," she whispered, checking the location tracker she'd convinced Emmett to install for safety. "Ready?" I adjusted my wide-brimmed hat. "Born ready." We moved to our hiding spot behind a row of potted palms, perfect for viewing the Northern Star Ferry terminal. Right on schedule, 2 SUVs pulled up. "My suite better have a good view," Brianna's voice carried across the parking lot as she stepped out, designer luggage in tow. "Now remember," Mom was saying, "Mallory said to check in at the special premium desk." I watched them wheel their expensive suitcases toward the ferry terminal, where a bored-looking attendant waited behind a scratched plexiglass window. "Excuse me," Mom's voice dripped honey. "We're here for the Ocean Star cruise, the premium check-in?" The attendant didn't look up. "This is the Northern Star Ferry terminal." There must be some mistake. Dad pulled out the forged documents I'd sent. "We have confirmation right here." The attendant finally glanced at the papers. "These are ferry tickets, sir. Northern Star Ferry, economy class." "Economy?" Brianna shrieked. "No, we're supposed to be in the Grand Suite, on the Ocean Star." "Listen," Emmett pushed forward. "My sister booked this. She got us the luxury package." "Sir, this is a ferry. We don't have luxury packages." Jessica stifled a laugh as we watched the scene unfold. Mom was demanding to speak to a manager. Dad was squinting at the tickets in confusion. Rose was whining about her princess dresses. "This can't be right," Brianna kept saying, frantically scrolling through her phone. The pictures showed. The terminal manager appeared, a weathered woman who'd clearly seen it all. "Your tickets are for the Northern Star Ferry. Boarding begins in 20 minutes. If you don't want these tickets, you're welcome to purchase different ones, if any are available." "Purchase?" Mom's voice hit a new octave. "But we already paid." "Then I suggest you board the ferry you paid for." I checked my watch. Time to make my move. "Ready for your grand entrance?" Jessica grinned. I straightened my designer sundress and stepped out from behind the palms, walking purposefully toward the Ocean Star's gleaming gangway. As I passed within their view, I heard Mom's gasp. "Mallory?" I turned, pushing my sunglasses up. "Oh, hey, shouldn't you be boarding by now?" "What's going on?" Emmett demanded. "Why are you going that way?" "Because that's my ship." I smiled sweetly. "The Ocean Star. You know, the one with the luxury suites?" But we're supposed to be on that one." Brianna clutched her useless tickets. "No, you're supposed to be on that one." I pointed to the rusty ferry behind them. "I booked exactly what you deserved." "You can't do this!" Mom stepped forward. "We're family." "Funny, I've been family for 34 years, but that didn't stop you from lying about your cruise fund or using my Christmas money for Emmett's gambling habit." Their faces went pale. "You didn't think I'd find out? About the secret account? About where my money really went all these years?" "Now, sweetheart," Dad started. "Don't sweetheart me." I checked my phone. "My boarding starts in 10 minutes. You should hurry. I hear the ferry's bathrooms are shared between cabins." "You ungrateful," Mom's face contorted. "Ungrateful?" I laughed. "For what? For being your personal bank? For watching you spoil Emmett while I got leftovers? For believing every guilt trip and lie?" A ship's horn blasted, the ferry's boarding call. "Better hurry," I said. "Oh, and Mom, I made sure they put a happy birthday sign on your door. I know how much you love special treatment." I turned and walked toward the Ocean Star's entrance. Behind me, I could hear Brianna's angry sobs, Rose's confused questions, and Mom's shrill demands to speak to someone in charge. At the gangway, I paused and turned back one last time. Jessica had positioned herself perfectly to capture the moment on her phone. Me on the luxury liner's deck, raising a champagne flute the steward had just handed me. Bon voyage, I called down, lifting my glass in a mock toast. Emmett's jaw unhinged. Mom's hand was on her chest. Dad was blinking furiously. And I, finally, was smiling. Real smiling. As I walked to my suite, I heard the ferry's horn one more time. A text from Jessica popped up. They're boarding! Your mom tried to argue about the shared bathroom situation. Got it all on video. I stepped onto my private balcony, feeling the ocean breeze. Somewhere below, my family was discovering their cramped cabins with metal bunk beds, and I was exactly where I belonged, far away from them, in first class. Welcome to cabin 403B, Ms. Newman. The steward swung open the door to my suite, and I had to bite back a gasp. The room was bigger than my first apartment, with floor-to-ceiling windows and a balcony that seemed to float above the ocean. Your champagne will be delivered shortly, he added, setting down my bags. Will you be dining in the crystal room tonight? I caught my reflection in the massive mirror, still wearing my revenge sundress, looking slightly dazed. Yes, I will. After he left, I sank into a plush armchair, finally letting myself breathe. My phone had 17 missed calls from Mom, 12 from Emmett, and 38 text messages. I blocked them all. A knock at the door made me jump. Champagne service! I opened it to find not just champagne, but a tall man with a camera slung over his shoulder. Sorry to intrude, he said, smiling. I'm Abel, the ship's photographer. We're doing welcome shots of all the guests. Mind if I grab a quick one? Oh, I don't. Just one. He gestured to the balcony. The lighting's perfect right now. Something about his easy smile made me relax. Fine. One photo. As he positioned me by the railing, my phone buzzed with a text from Jessica. Your mom just tried to demand a refund from the ferry company. They said no. I must have smiled because Abel's camera clicked. That's the shot. Natural joy looks good on you. Trust me, it's been a long time coming. Solo traveler, he asked, checking the photo on his camera screen. Very deliberately solo. Another knock interrupted us. This time it was Jessica, practically bouncing with excitement. You have to see this. She thrust her phone at me. Brianna's posting on social media. The post showed a cramped ferry cabin with metal bunk beds. Does anyone know why we're not on the Ocean Star Cruise? This is not what we were promised. Jint scammed, sheer worst vatio never. Comments were already pouring in. Wait, what happened? I thought you were going on a luxury cruise? Those look like ferry bunks, lol. Abel peered at the screen. Friends of yours? Family, I said. Former family. Ah. He nodded knowingly. I sense a story there. You have no idea. Jessica grinned. Show him the video of their boarding meltdown. Maybe later, I said, but I was smiling again. My phone lit up with a FaceTime request from Mom. I declined it. Dinner? Jessica suggested. I heard the Crystal Room has lobster tonight. Perfect. I turned to Abel. Would you like to join us? I have a feeling you'd appreciate the full story. Over dinner, with the sun setting over the ocean through floor-to-ceiling windows, I told them everything. About the bike money, about Christmas after Christmas of watching Emmett get everything while I got guilt, about discovering their secret cruise fund. So they just expected you to bankroll their lives? Abel asked, looking incredulous. Expected? They demanded it. I sipped my wine. Last Christmas, they gave me a card saying my gift to the family was paying off Emmett's car loan. Which actually went to his gambling, Jessica added. Jesus. Abel shook his head. And they're on the ferry now? As if on cue, Jessica's phone pinged. Oh my God, look. Brianna's going off about the bathroom situation. A new post showed a tiny shared bathroom with a shower that looked like it had seen better days. Had to wait 30 minutes to brush my teeth. Ocean Star Cruises. How dare you false advertise? Should we tell her she's not actually on an Ocean Star cruise? Abel grinned. Let her figure it out. I felt a weight lifting with each mile the ship put between us. They've got 13 more days to enjoy their luxury experience. Later, walking back to my cabin, Abel stopped me. You know, I'm doing a sunset photography workshop tomorrow. If you want to learn how to capture moments like these, I'd like that. And I meant it. Back in my suite, I found a note slipped under the door. You were right to do this. Enjoy it. I recognized Jessica's handwriting and smiled. Through the open balcony doors, I could hear music from the deck below. For the first time in years, I felt like dancing. My phone buzzed one last time, a message from the Ferry company's automated system. Your party's cabin is experiencing minor maintenance issues. Estimated repair time, 3-4 hours. I stepped out onto the balcony, champagne in hand, and watched the stars reflect off the ocean. Somewhere out there, my family was probably huddled in their cramped cabin, wondering how their perfect vacation had gone so wrong. But here I was, finally right where I belonged, and for once, I didn't feel guilty at all. The FaceTime call came during Abel's sunset photography workshop. I'd been learning how to capture the perfect golden hour when my phone lit up with Mom's tear-streaked face. How could you? She sobbed. We're in a floating prison. I kept my voice steady. No, you're on the exact kind of trip you deserve. The bathroom flooded last night. Emmett's voice boomed as he grabbed the phone from Mom. Rose got seasick and Brianna had to wait in line to use the public restroom. Sounds rough. I adjusted my camera settings, framing the perfect sunset shot. Kinda like when I got food poisoning at Christmas and you made me drive 2 hours to pick up Emmett's new TV anyway. This isn't funny, Mallory. Mom was back on screen. We're sleeping on metal beds. The food is... She held up a sandwich in a plastic wrapper. It's not even fresh. That's what you can afford with your own money. I smiled. How's that secret cruise fund working out for you? Their faces went pale. Yeah, I know about that. And Emmett's gambling. And every other lie you've told while bleeding me dry. We're your family, Mom wailed. No, you're parasites who happened to raise me. The words felt like freedom. And I'm done being your host. Emmett's face turned red. When we get back, you'll what? Ask me for more money? Good luck with that. I've already blocked your access to my accounts, canceled your emergency credit cards, and removed myself as your financial backup. You're on your own. You ungrateful little... I ended the call. Damn, Abel whispered beside me. I'd forgotten he was there. That was... overdue, I finished, hands shaking slightly as I lifted my camera again. Here. He steadied my grip. Focus on the horizon. Sometimes the best shots come right after the storm. A crowd had gathered for the workshop, all pretending they hadn't just witnessed my family drama. I appreciated their polite fiction. Sorry about that, I said to the group. Don't be, an elderly woman replied. My sister tried to steal my inheritance. I changed my will and sent her a photo of me burning the old one. Everyone laughed, and just like that, the tension broke. After the workshop, Abel and I walked along the deck. You okay? He asked. Better than okay. I showed him my sunset photos. I think I'm finally getting the hang of this. The composition's good, but... He stopped mid-sentence, staring at something behind me. I turned to find Jessica at the ship's bar, holding up 2 whiskey glasses with a triumphant grin. Surprise! She walked over. Thought you might need reinforcements after that FaceTime drama. You were here the whole time? She handed me a glass. Booked my cabin the same day we planned all this. Someone had to document your great escape. So that note under my door... Guilty. She clinked her glass against mine. Now, want to see the latest updates from the SS Misery? She pulled out her phone, showing me Brianna's newest posts. Day 2 of being scammed. No spa, no room service, and the entertainment is a broken TV playing old movies. Rose cried because she couldn't wear her princess dress to dinner. There is no formal dinner. The Ocean Star Cruises will be hearing from our lawyer. They still think they're on the wrong Ocean Star Cruise, Jessica laughed. They haven't figured out it's a completely different company. Should we tell them? Abel asked. Let them waste their time trying to sue the wrong cruise line. I sipped my whiskey. It'll give them something to do between bathroom visits. Just then, my phone buzzed with a group email from Mom, clearly meant only for Dad and Emmett, but sent to me by mistake. We need to discuss how to handle Mallory when we return. This behavior cannot go unpunished. I suggest we cut her off completely unless she apologizes and makes this right. We'll have to shame her at family gatherings until she understands her place. My finger hovered over the forward button. Do it, Jessica urged. I hit forward, sending it to every extended family member, aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone. Within minutes, replies started flooding in. Are you kidding me? After everything she's done for you? No wonder she snapped. Good for you, Mallory. Mom always said you were taking advantage of her. Dance with me, Abel said suddenly, as music started playing from the deck speakers. What? You look like someone who hasn't danced in years. Let's fix that. As he pulled me onto the dance floor, I caught a glimpse of myself in the deck's glass windows. I was smiling, really smiling, for the first time in as long as I could remember. Behind us, Jessica raised her glass. To the best revenge cruise ever. And there, under the stars, surrounded by people who actually saw me, I finally felt free. The island port was everything the brochure promised. Crystal waters, white sand, and luxury shops lining the marina. I sat at a beachfront cafe, watching the Ocean Star's passengers explore, while the Northern Star Ferry remained stuck at dock for routine maintenance. Another mojito? Abel asked, returning from the bar. God, yes. I checked my phone. Brianna's having a meltdown because they can't leave the ferry during repairs. Jessica leaned over to read the latest post. Trapped on this floating nightmare while watching actual cruise ships in port. My children are traumatized. Speaking of trauma, Abel nodded toward my inbox. You might want to see this. A new group email from Mom sat unread. This one was definitely meant for the whole family. Since Mallory has chosen to publicly humiliate us, let me tell you the truth about your poor, abused cousin-niece. We sacrificed everything for her education. We supported her career. And how does she repay us? By abandoning her family on a cargo ship while she lives in luxury. If you support this behavior, you're no better than she is. My hands shook as I typed my reply. Let's talk about truth, Mom. Let's talk about the secret cruise fund you claimed didn't exist. The Christmas money that went to Emmett's gambling. The birthday savings you stole for his soccer gear. Since we're being honest, why don't you tell everyone how much money I've loaned you over the years? I have receipts. All of them. I attached bank statements, screenshots, years of documented financial abuse. Send it, Jessica urged. I hit reply all. The responses were immediate. Aunt Sarah, Reagan, is this true? Those amounts are insane. Uncle Pete, no wonder she snapped. You've taken advantage of that girl for years. Cousin Tracy, Mom always said something wasn't right about how you treated Mallory. Cousin Genesis, you should have done this years ago, Mal. Then came Mom's desperate damage control. She's lying. We only asked for help when necessary. Emmett needed. Emmett himself cut her off with a reply. Stop. Just stop. Mal's right. We've been awful. I've been awful. The ferry bathroom flooded again, and I had time to think. I'm sorry, sis. Really sorry. I stared at my phone in shock. Well, that's unexpected, Jessica murmured. Another email popped up, this one from Dad. Your mother's hysterical. Emmett's wife is threatening divorce. The kids are crying. Is this what you wanted? My fingers flew across the screen. What I wanted was parents who loved me as much as they loved my brother. What I wanted was family who saw me as more than an ATM. What I wanted was the truth. For once in your life, Dad, look at those receipts and tell me I'm wrong. Abel squeezed my hand as I hit send. For the first time, I said quietly, I'm not the black sheep. I'm the wolf they finally saw coming. My phone buzzed again. A private message from Emmett. Remember when you saved for months to buy that bike? I knew Mom took your money. I knew and I said nothing. That was the first time. I've known every time since. I don't expect forgiveness, but you deserve to hear it. I'm sorry for being a coward, for taking and taking, for watching them drain you dry. You're not wrong to do this. Not at all. Jessica read over my shoulder. Well, damn. Too little, too late, I said, but my voice wavered. Maybe, Abel said gently, but it's something. I looked out at the ocean, at the ferry stuck in port while we sat in paradise. You know what the worst part is? If they'd just been honest, if they'd ever once admitted what they were doing and really apologized, I probably would have helped them anyway. Because you're a good person, Jessica said. They just never deserved you. My phone lit up with a final email from Mom. When you're done with this childish revenge, we'll discuss terms for your return to the family. Until then, enjoy your lonely luxury. I hope it was worth losing us. I deleted the family group chat. It was worth every penny, I said, raising my mojito. To freedom, to consequences, Jessica added. To new beginnings, Abel finished. As the sun set over the island, I watched happy families walk past our cafe, parents with their children, siblings laughing together, the kind of love I'd always wanted but never had. But for the first time, that didn't hurt, because I'd finally chosen myself, finally stood up, finally said enough. I opened my camera app, remembering Abel's lessons about capturing perfect moments. The sunset painted the sky in shades of freedom, and I knew exactly how to frame it. Click. Some pictures are worth 1,000 words. This one just said one. Goodbye. The ocean star glided into its home port under clear skies. I stood at the railing watching the shoreline grow closer when Jessica rushed up with her phone. You have to see this, she thrust the screen at me. They just docked. The photo showed my family trudging down the ferry's gangway in rain-drenched sweatpants. Rose was crying. Brianna's designer luggage looked decidedly less designer after 2 weeks at sea. Mom's hair had completely abandoned its usual perfect styling. I almost feel bad for them, Abel said, joining us at the railing. Almost, I agreed. My phone buzzed with a text from Cousin Genesis. You should have done this years ago. Also, heads up, Mom told me Aunt Reagan's already planning her revenge. Something about Thanksgiving? I laughed. Good luck with that. I already booked myself a spa weekend for Thanksgiving. Speaking of bookings, Abel said carefully, I have that photography exhibition in your city next month. Is that your subtle way of asking for my number? Depends. Is it working? Jessica made gagging noises behind us as we exchanged phones. The ship's horn blasted our arrival. As passengers began gathering their belongings, I took one last look at my family's ferry photos. They looked miserable, defeated, and completely shocked that their actions had finally met consequences. Miss Newman, a steward appeared. A message was left for you at the front desk. The note was in Emmett's handwriting. I sold the car, paid back what I could. It's in your account. Not asking for forgiveness. Just wanted you to know I finally grew up. E. Well, Jessica peered over my shoulder. That's unexpected. I checked my bank account. The transfer was there. Not everything they'd taken over the years, but enough to show he meant it. Ready to disembark? Abel asked, offering his arm. We walked down the gangway together into the bright morning sun. A small crowd had gathered near the terminal, my family looking like they'd been through a war. Mallory, Mom stepped forward but stopped when I held up my hand. Don't. My voice was calm. Whatever speech you've prepared, whatever guilt trip you're about to lay down, save it. We're your family, she tried anyway. No, you were my prison. There's a difference. Dad wouldn't meet my eyes. Brianna was frantically typing on her phone, probably documenting this final drama. Only Emmett stayed quiet, holding his children's hands. The funny thing is, I continued, I would have given you the world if you just loved me for me. Not for my money, not for what I could do for you, just for being your daughter. I do love you, Mom whispered. No, you love what I can give you. There's a difference there, too. Rose tugged free from Emmett and ran to hug my legs. I missed you, Aunt Mallory. I knelt down to her level. I missed you too, kiddo. Maybe someday, when you're older, you'll understand why I had to do this. The bathroom really did smell bad, she whispered, making me laugh. Standing back up, I addressed my family one last time. I'm not coming to Thanksgiving, or Christmas, or any other guilt-fueled family gathering. I'm done. Forever? Mom's voice cracked. Until you understand that love shouldn't come with a price tag. I took Abel's hand. I have a different kind of family now, one that sees me. Jessica snapped a photo of their faces. Shock, anger, grief, and finally, understanding. Goodbye, Mom. I turned away, then paused. Oh, and Brianna? You might want to stop threatening to sue Ocean Star Cruises. You were never on their ship. As we walked away, I heard the beginning of their fresh meltdown, but for the first time, it wasn't my problem to solve. So, Abel said as we reached my car, about that exhibition next month. I know a great coffee shop near the gallery, I smiled. Jessica made another gagging sound. If you two are done being cute, can we get breakfast? I'm starving. My phone buzzed one last time. A message from Genesis. They're all standing there watching you leave. Aunt Reagan looks like she swallowed a lemon. It's beautiful. Also, brunch soon? I typed back, absolutely, my treat, because I want to, not because I have to. Looking back at the terminal, I could still see them. The family that had held me captive with guilt and obligation for so long. They looked small now, diminished without my strength to lean on. Sometimes revenge doesn't look like fire and fury. Sometimes it's a slow, steady wave, washing them out of your life forever. And sometimes that's exactly what you need to finally start living. Breakfast, I agreed, turning toward my future. I know just the place.